A former Houston 911 operator who hung up on thousands of people, including calls for help during robberies and homicides, will spend 10 days in jail and 18 months on probation. Harris County jurors on Wednesday found Krishanda Williams, 44, guilty of interference with emergency phone calls. Hello everyone, and welcome to another video. Today we'll be looking at 911 operators hanging up on thousands of calls. Yeah, you heard it right. Williams spent a year and a half taking 911 calls at the Houston Emergency Center until she was caught in August 2016 and fired by the city. The supervisor who oversaw Williams was ultimately also placed on a year of internal probation, officials said at the time. Williams' misdeeds came to light after HEC officials performing routine monthly audits of 911 calls noticed a high volume of Williams' calls lasted less than 20 seconds, known as short calls. In a news release detailing the sentencing, prosecutors said that a review of call records showed Williams hung up on thousands of short calls. The calls included one where a caller tried to report a violent robbery and another where a caller dialed 911 concerned about two drivers racing in an area on Interstate 45 where people had been killed speeding just weeks earlier. Harris County prosecutors said the county had an obligation to hold public servants criminally accountable when they break the law and the community's trust. The citizens of Harris County rely on 911 operators to dispatch help in their time of need, said Lauren Reeder, a Harris County prosecutor. When Williams' actions were initially exposed, HEC manager Joe Laud called them an anomaly. This is just a very significant event, Laud said at the time, and we feel that her actions do not represent all the call takers in this facility or call takers in general. They have a very specific interest in doing a great job and providing emergency response to people. The center, which opened in 2003 after the city consolidated 911 calls for the police, fire, and emergency management services, handle millions of calls annually, and about 9,000 a day. About one-third are true emergencies. Franklin Bynum, Williams' attorney, said the case reveals systemic problems at the Houston Emergency Center, including a call-taking system that drops calls instead of rerouting them if dispatchers are not ready to take them. He also criticized the statute prosecutors used to charge Williams, and said he expected it to be overturned on appeal. She was going through a hard time in her life, and she was a poor-performing worker at the Houston Emergency Center, he said, but punishing her doesn't do anything to fix the problems that still exist at the emergency center. An unconscious woman, a robbery in progress, cars racing on the interstate, all these incidents led people to call Houston's 911 system, but not for long. These were among thousands of calls that were cut short by an operator who Harris County prosecutors said simply hung up on the callers. That former operator is Krishanda Williams, who has since been sentenced to 10 days in jail and 18 months of probation on 2 counts of interfering with an emergency telephone call. Ain't nobody got time for this, for real. Williams was recorded saying, after ending a call in which a security guard had tried to report 2 cars driving at speeds on Interstate 45 South, according to a 2016 report from local KPRC TV. Williams worked at the Houston Emergency Center for about a year and a half before she was fired in 2016. Her supervisors had realized that Williams was responsible for cutting off emergency calls after just a few seconds, often forcing callers to try again, and to wonder why they couldn't get help. At the time, Williams reportedly told police that she simply didn't want to talk to anyone. Her attorney recently said she was going through a hard time in her life, according to the Houston Chronicle. Prosecutors said the abnormally short 911 calls happened thousands of times on Williams' watch. At court, prosecutor Lauren Reeder of the Harris County District Attorney's Office said that the public needs to be able to rely on the 911 system, the Chronicle reported. When Williams was arrested in October 2016, KPRC TV recounted several of the calls that she was accused of cutting short. One of the callers was Buster Penley, who said that Williams hung up on him after his wife collapsed, the victim of a blood clot moving to her lungs. She was gasping and I could feel her heart beating out of her chest, but I couldn't get a pulse, Penley told the TV station. When he called 911, he said he held the phone in one hand and kept trying to perform CPR with another. The 911 operator answered the phone and she said, "This is Krishanda, may I help you? Wife's passed out, I need an ambulance," Penley recalled. She said okay and then she hangs up on me. He called back and an ambulance eventually came. His wife, Sharon Stevens, survived, but she also told KPRC that she was furious that he didn't tell her what had happened. Because I would have gone from my hospital bed and gone to 911 and found out who did that to me. That call took place in March 2016. Days later, Hua Lee, an engineer, called 911 to report an armed robbery at a convenience store. He had just run out of the store and was calling from the parking lot. On his way out, he heard gunshots. They just said, "This is 911, how can I help you? I was trying to finish my sentence and we got disconnected," Lee later told KPRC. Lee recalled the second time and got a different operator. The station reported. By the time police arrived, however, the store manager had been shot and killed, and Harris County District Attorney Kim Ogg's office filed charges against Williams and accused her of a misdemeanor, interfering with an emergency telephone call. A jury in Harris County found her guilty on Wednesday. Williams' defense attorney, Franklin Bynum, says that they plan to appeal. According to the Chronicle, Bynum said that the Houston Emergency Center's problems run deeper than the prosecution's case suggests and that its phone system doesn't handle calls properly. So that's all from today's video. If you enjoyed it, remember to leave a like, subscribe, and ring that bell icon so you never miss our upcoming videos. And don't forget to share your thoughts in the comments section below. Stay tuned, and we'll catch you in the next video.